This week on The Week Ahead, financial chaos continues. Plus, President Obama talks about keeping jobs in America and new taxes in the same breath. Welcome to The Week Ahead. I'm Frank McCaffrey. It comes as no surprise, more spending and more debt. That has been the trend of the Obama administration, and now we're hearing reports that the House-Senate tax package will add $167.5 billion to the deficit over the next 3 years. For more on this, we're joined by Americans for Limited Government's Robert Romano. Robert, is this really going to bring about a legitimate economic recovery?
Well, the debt is strangling the economy right now, and it's now larger than the entire economy at $15.3 trillion. And what this bill will do is add $167 billion to the national debt over the next 3 years. $100 billion this year alone. So I don't see how this is really going to result in any net job creation. It's certainly not going to help out the growth situation. By real true measures of the unemployment situation, if you keep the labor participation rate steady at 65.7%, which is where it was when Obama took office, we would actually be measuring 11% unemployment right now and 17% underemployment. 4.7 million people are not being counted as part of the labor force. Why? They've given up looking for work under Obama's economy, and it's his fault.
Robert, this now goes to the U.S. Senate, which is loaded with Obama cronies. Your thoughts?
Senate Republicans have an opportunity to actually take a stand against increasing the debt like this. You would have to filibuster it. And House leadership won along with this piece of legislation, so one expects that the Senate Republicans will follow suit. We'll see.
Thank you very much, Robert. In a recent speech at a Masterlock facility in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, President Barack Obama talked about insourcing jobs or keeping them in America. At the same time, he talked about new taxes. It all seemed like he was talking about oil and water.
This company has been making the most of a huge opportunity that exists right now to bring jobs and manufacturing back to the United States of America.
That's President Barack Obama in a recent speech on reversing the trend of recent decades, offshoring jobs. Companies want to avoid things in America like taxes or government regulations. However, Obama seems to believe a speech on keeping jobs is a good time to bring up new taxes.
One place to start is with our tax code. No American company should be able to avoid paying its fair share of taxes.
He's been pushing his message of an America built to last. He wants to bring back manufacturing jobs.
If you want to relocate in a community like this one that's been hard hit when factories left town, you should get help financing a new plant, financing new equipment, training new workers.
However, American businesses have had to cope with regulations from government organizations such as the EPA. It sends opportunity elsewhere. And oh yes, Obama also tries to push for things like union involvement.
This plant is running at full capacity, and that's an example of what happens when unions and employers work together to create good jobs.
Well, if these unions are so great, why are we now competitive with China on salaries? That doesn't sound right.
If the cost of doing business here isn't too much different than the cost of doing business in places like China, then why wouldn't you rather do it right here in the United States of America?
That speech took place in the state of Wisconsin, a state that has unemployment numbers that are 3 percentage points higher today than they were 4 years ago. And that's all the time we have for the week ahead. Please join us again next time. For more on these and other topics, visit netrightdaily.com.